Real quick, come here. Hold on. If somebody said that we're getting our Avengers back by the injuries that are coming back, who would you compare Arias, Jason Hayward, and Jackson Merrill to in terms of an Avenger?
I've never really watched Avengers, to be honest.
Not a nerd. He's a nerd in other ways.
I do play RuneScape sometimes. That's a little nerdy. And disc golf.
But you don't know any sport position.
I mean, I think it was just, we felt lonely out there. We missed our guys. And, we missed them in the clubhouse. They were gone for a whole week, and we just felt empty.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I believe it is a Thursday, or it could be a Friday, or it could be this weekend, depending on when you are watching this show. My name is Marty Caswell. Thank you for joining me in my channel here on Marty Time TV. I am so happy to be delighted I am delighted. And I'm so happy, I'm delighted to be joined by my friend, Jonathan Rifkin, my former colleague over at iHeart. There's a lot to unpack. A lot of Padres news, some good news. I mean, our last show when I was speaking with Jay Garriani from CBS, it was about just a wretched time for the Padres. They'd been swept by the Rays. They looked lifeless. They'd been shut out. They had like a 25-inning scoreless streak. So a lot of good news coming off a 2-game sweep of the Giants. And more importantly, they've gotten some spark back. First and foremost, Jonathan Rifkin, there you are in Hollywood. Good to see you, man. How are you?
I am. I'm doing well. It's a little gloomy out. It's a little windy, but there's good energy around, so I'm feeling pretty good. And I wish it was a Friday. I'm watching this on a Thursday because we're doing this live together. Yeah. So that was a bit of a tease, but it's okay. We're almost there. Okay, good deal. Good deal. I'm not sure if you caught the open that I played there, but that was that was Dylan Cease and Michael King talking about the Avengers. I will explain to all of you why we went down that rabbit hole. But the important thing, I think, from this weekend, from the past couple of days, is hearing from Manny Machado saying that we're back. We're back to the Padres that we thought we were. And the reason why, and they were just lonely. I mean, the reason why they looked terrible. They played some they played some uninspiring baseball this weekend, right? I mean, couldn't do anything. They were terrible with runners in scoring position, but it was because they were lonely. They just missed the hugs from Luis Arias. They missed what Jason Hayward brings. Defensively made an outstanding play yesterday inside the clubhouse. So that was good to go ahead and hear and see. Yeah, contrary to popular belief, I've been following the Padres for whatever reason. People are like, "Oh, yeah, this is my team, man." Everybody. Oh, like you moved to LA, and I'm like, first of all, I'm from here, but I moved back. Yeah, they're like, "Oh, are you?" Absolutely not. I dedicated too much time playing Marty's Padre audio for 3 years that I am fully on board. I'm fully following this team. And I don't know, like, I understand. I think that being removed from the angst of the city during that Rays series didn't make me feel as concerned. You know, I was watching clips of you and some of our other friends who talk about the Padres. And, like, I understand, like, the energy of being sucked out of the team and of the fan base during that series because of how hot the start was. Yeah. But, like, dude, like, 30 games in, like, you're allowed to have one bad series in the first 30 games, and they bounce back and they look good. And like Manny Machado said, like, they're back to Padres baseball. So they are back to Padres. They are back to Padres baseball. They're going to get one of your favorite players back, and I'm not sure if it could be as soon as Friday. Since you mentioned that you're used to all the audio that I played from the Padres, let me go ahead and make sure that pays off because I have a lot. I want to go ahead and first present. I want to present first of all Mike Shildt from yesterday, Padres manager Mike Shildt, talking about the guys who are coming back. I think AJ Caswell asked him, what's the status on Jackson Merrill, on Brendan Lockridge, and Jake Cronenworth. I saw him yesterday as I was making my way out. He was as well. He was, I think, catching a flight to Arizona to go ahead and rehab. This is Mike Shildt yesterday on some reinforcements coming in the Padres. I don't know if he's going to join them. Those guys are all on 3 different plans. Locke and Jackson are pretty close to the same plan relative to where they are in their rehab, and they're at the good side of it. They're towards the finish line of it. Locke played back-to-back games in Arizona at the complex on Monday and Tuesday. I think I've got my days right. And then Jackson played last night with Locke Tuesday, and they both got 6 at bats. Locke swung the bat well, played left. Jackson played center. Locke got a bag and won the 2 games. Jackson hit a triple, and then he hit a double, and everybody in the dugout yelling him to go for 3. And I'm watching the video of it, like, please do not try that right now. And he stopped at second. So
but yeah, they're progressing. Jake's with us now, and he's going to head to Arizona today to get some work in as well.
So you say toward the finish line. Is that finish line potentially the early part of this road trip?
We're still evaluating. Again, it's where they are in their progressions. They're not all on equal footing, but they're all close to where they're at. And I do expect, things being equal and the recovery still taking place, AJ, that, we'll see them, some version of one or two of them, early in the road trip, Pittsburgh, and then possibly New York on the second side of it.
So that was manager Mike Shildt saying that the Padres are that Merrill is close, Lockwood is close, and Jake Cronenworth likely in Colorado to end that road trip. By the way, speaking of this road trip, we're gonna miss your guy Paul Skeens. I think he's pitching today.
It's all right. We got enough Paul Skeens after he shut down the Dodgers last week. So good thing that the Padres are missing him because he's on a heater right now, Marty.
Of course.
Heater. He had 250 people in the building.
What's that?
When he came back. He had 250 people in the building when he came back.
That's it?
That's it. Yeah, really not a popular guy at all.
Okay. I'd like to mention to you that we are brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right. There's a lot I want to go ahead and pack from this weekend. Again, we spent so much time talking about Xander Bogaerts. What day is it today? That would be on Monday, right? Before that series after the sweep. At that time, looking for his first home run of the year. He hadn't had an RBI in 3 weeks, and he had the final at bat on Sunday when the Padres got booed off the field. Not loud boos, but just a smattering of boos when he had the final out. So he hits a home run, of course, on Monday. He went 2 for 4, had 3 RBIs, his first 3 RBI game since August. We're going to go ahead and hear from Xander Bogaerts, but hang on 1 second. Did you catch the open on from Dylan Cease and Michael King? Did you have any idea what we were talking about? Because I would like to explain that to our listeners.
Honestly, I didn't realize that I had to press the play audio button to hear it until at the end. So unfortunately, I'm not as privy to lip reading as you are. So I'll leave this one to you.
Should I make you, you know what? Because of that, I specifically played that open. I created an open just for you to go ahead and draw you into this conversation. Give me 1 second. I'm going to make
Dylan, come here real quick. Come here. Hold on. If somebody said that we're getting our Avengers back by the injuries that are coming back, who would you compare Arias, Jason Hayward, and Jackson Merrill to in terms of an Avenger?
I've never really watched Avengers.
See, not a nerd. He's a nerd in other ways.
I do play RuneScape sometimes. That's a little nerdy. And disc golf.
But you don't know.
I mean,
Okay. Are we back?
Okay. First of all, I appreciate it. I don't play RuneScape, but I do love the Avengers. So I don't know. So we heard Manny Machado. Who said Iron Man at the end? Somebody said Iron Man.
I don't even know. But do you appreciate where we're going there? So
Absolutely.
This is how. Let me go ahead and set this up, right? So when I had on the show, when I had AJ Caswell on, I'm not sure who I had on, okay, but it was one of my recent shows, and somebody commented on this channel, the Padres are getting their Avengers back. That's when we knew Luis Arias was going to come back on Monday, and that Jason Hayward was right there as well, and that Jake Cronenworth and Jackson Merrill were close behind, right? So I took that. I went to Tyler Wade. I'm like, listen, do you understand? What does this mean? If you guys are the Avengers, who is Jackson Merrill? Who's Jason
Jackson
Hayward?
Merrill is Captain America, the old Captain America, or Thor. Come on, first of all, okay, there's nobody else that has bigger biceps than those two Avengers, and Jackson Merrill.
All right, let me explain this. Let me finish this real quick, okay? So Tyler Wade had no idea what I was talking about. He claimed he doesn't watch the Avengers. So he points across the clubhouse, and he says, go talk to the 2 biggest nerds in this clubhouse. They're right over there. So he was referencing Michael King and Dylan Cease. Now I'm going to have the full Michael King interview probably tomorrow because he is wildly entertaining. He's my favorite person to talk to in the entire clubhouse. But then he brings in Dylan Cease in the equation, and Dylan Cease just had no idea what he's talking about. I don't know what RuneScape is, but that seems to be the highlight of that. But no, so I will. Michael King pegged Luis Arias as Ant-Man. Ant-Man. Do you understand that reference?
Yeah. Well, did he explain it?
Yes, he did.
Okay,
yes,
so let me give what I would understand as the rationalization. So Ant-Man, somebody he's not the guy who's taking like the big swings. Like he does a lot of damage control. He's the glue guy for the Avengers. Right.
He's not the strongest guy. Exactly.
He's slippery.
He's slippery. He's evasive. He can beat you with so many different cuts.
Yeah.
He brings energy. He's a pest to your starting pitchers. And when you look at this Padres lineup, right, he's not Thor. He's not Iron Man. He doesn't have the muscles and the power. So that's why Michael King trying to compliment his teammates. Luis Arraez is Ant-Man. So when Luis Arraez comes back this weekend, right, and he has a couple of hits and he scores a run, and he had a triple yesterday, all I could think of was, man, there's Ant-Man on the base pass. So I hope you appreciate that. Hope our listeners do. We'll have the full Michael King interview coming up tomorrow here on Marty Time TV. So there you go.
I love it. I still think Jackson Merrill is Captain America.
Okay, well, I'll tell you this. Michael King had Jason Hayward as Captain America because the leadership, and he has the biggest muscles on the team.
Oh, so his muscles are bigger than Jackson Merrill's.
So
I don't believe. Go with your tape measure, Marty. I need bicep measurements on both those guys, please.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, I am looking forward to getting into your world. I saw that you had some news coming as far as your play-by-play. We'll get to that, right? For what you're doing in Ventura. Sure. So I do want to get that. I want you to go ahead and break down the NBA playoffs. Not the NBA playoffs. I just think the Lakers seem to be the story since they are eliminated in the first round, and of course the frenzy over LeBron James's future and Luka just being underwhelming. So we will get to end this show. We will have some of your breakdown of the NBA. I'm not paying too much attention to it, but I know that we have listeners or viewers that do care about it. All right. Last week, we spent a ton of time talking about Xander Bogaerts, right? The Padres should eat his contract. He's a disaster. He hit a home run. He went 2 for 4, right? So
do you think that they should eat his contract? I don't mean to ruin your flow, but
no. You don't eat his contract. I mean, he's still a major league player. He can give you good at bats. He's still a presence. The thing that people have to realize, there wouldn't be this much consternation over Xander Bogaerts if he didn't have this sort of contract, right? There was a pressure that comes with 11 years, $280 million, and he hasn't lived up to the player that some people, the Padres apparently thought. You don't pay that kind of money for a guy to go ahead and be a doubles guy. So before the game on Monday, I asked Mike Shildt, what do you make of the struggles that Xander Bogaerts has had? And I'm going to go play that clip for you right now. Number one, Mike Shildt never criticizes his players. He doesn't want to hear criticism of his players, but I thought it was a very, very fair question, and this is how Mike Shildt answered that question.
I don't know that. I mean, like you said, it's unfair to point a finger at anybody, and clearly, especially him, he's on probably a pace for 40-something doubles. I think if you looked up and you took 40-something doubles out of any of our players, including Buggy, you'd probably feel pretty good about it. He's a guy that's helped us win games, and it's you have a stretch of 3 or 4 games that you hit the ball right back at the pitcher, hit off his glove and right to a guy. Could have been a game tying RBI. Had a big ball down the line the other day. I'm really unsure to answer the question because I don't really look at Bogey as anything but a benefit to the club, and sometimes the game is hard for a couple games, so I don't really know what to say beyond that.
It's the catching situation. I mean, you have one of the better pitching staffs in baseball, I'm sure. Okay, so we don't have to talk about the catching situation, but I just, I asked him, my question to him was, what do you think of his struggles, right? Mm-hmm. And he took offense, or not offense, he didn't know how to answer that question. I don't see him anything as a benefit to us. So I think it was a fair question to ask.
Was that sincere though? Obviously he's not going to talk smack about his player, but do you take the way that he's tripping over his words and trying to piece together that pod? Is it sincere that he truly sees Xander Bogaerts as purely a benefit to the club?
I expect that kind of answer from Mike Shildt because he's never going to criticize his players. Right. He's not. He says we see him as a benefit. So yes, he is more of a benefit than say a guy like Yuli Gurriel, who the Padres DFA'd. Finally, that was a disaster of a signing. I mean, there was no point to it to begin with. But no, I thought it was a little bit interesting that he was so defensive of his player. And the reason why I wanted to play that clip for you guys is because Xander Bogaerts, by his own account. And I wrote about this for the Sporting Tribune. I'm not sure if you guys know this, but I also do some writing for the Sporting Tribune.
A Swiss Army knife, Marty Caswell, full journalist.
Thank you. But Xander Bogaerts said that, it's weighed on him. Like he heard the boos on Sunday, and he said what Xander Bogaerts said is important. I am not living up to my own expectations. I am better than this. And it really, really bothers me. And if you've ever seen any of the post-game interviews with Xander Bogaerts, pre or post, man, you can see how his struggles are weighing on him. This is not who he wants to be. And he may never be that player in Boston where he was a five-time Silver Slugger Award winner, 4-time All-Star, 2 World Series champions. He was the heart and soul of that team. But the difference, and we know this now, the Padres, he doesn't need to be that guy on this team because you have players that are helping to carry it. Manny Machado, Tatis, and Jackson Merrill. So it was magnified because he hasn't really had a point where he's carried the Padres team since he got here. And when you have players that are injured and you look miserable home to Tampa and you can't do anything offensively, man, you're in the spotlight.
It's also the second time, like he's a repeat offender. Last year before the injury and before the All-Star break, he went through like a historic slump, right? Where he was batting like 200 something or low 200s. And like that was the whole conversation. And he was like, oh, and then he came back from the All-Star break and out of injury. And he had a really good August and most of September. Oh, who's here? Package?
I'm not home. Sorry, I can't answer the door right now. That's weird. Nobody ever comes here.
You're not home?
No, sorry.
What if it's like a maintenance check or something?
No, then that's a scam.
What if it's like carbon monoxide?
Well, then, you know what? Then can you take over the rest of this show and end it in fine fashion? And
that's why you brought me here.
Yeah,
what can I
want you to make sure that you mention at the end. I'm sorry, Marty's gone, but she was brought to you by the all-new Humboldt Casino Resort, the Players Place. And Edgar has a good point. What's hilarious about the interview is that Bogaerts hasn't ever hit 40 doubles here since he got here in 23, and he's never even cracked over 60 RBIs. So he's on pace for 40 doubles as a joke. It was a little bit. Mike Shildt knows those questions are coming because when he has a stat ready to say, oh man, he's on pace for 40-something doubles, anybody would take that. That's wonderful, but you didn't bring in Xander Bogaerts and pay him that kind of money to have him on pace for 40 doubles a year. This is, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and play you what Xander Bogaerts tried to say. We're not going to do too much more audio. I want to make sure I leave you time to go ahead and talk about the Lakers, and I think you need at least a 5-minute rant to go.
Well, I'm not a Laker fan, but I can give you one.
Please do. All right, here is Xander Bogaerts following his first home run of the season. You can hear the relief. You can see the relief.
What did that feel like?
It felt great, and I think the homer was a nice moment. So, it was a tight game. These guys were battling back and kind of widened the gap a little bit against a good team like that. That was nice, But yeah, it's going to be a good battle, man. These guys, they have a good team too.
Your reaction, the pleasure it seemed you took in that homer was a little bigger than maybe at breaking a game open, personally for you.
Yeah, as I said, we know how we've been playing, and we got off to a nice start at home. So many games unbeaten, and Tampa comes in, and they did their thing against us, and these guys, they're playing good too. And as I said, just kind of giving us an extra breathing room. I think that was big. That was big.
Is there a big weight though off your shoulders, off your back after the RBI and the home run tonight?
Yeah, the RBI was great, but the homer is different. I haven't had one of those in a while, so it was good to feel that.
I'm surprised it took this long to get to this point for you.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but I've been through some stuff like this before, so it's not like it's the first time. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised, but it's all it takes is one, and hopefully we continue from there.
Is there anything you've tweaked at the plate in the last couple days to hit the balls hard?
Just I don't know, just continue, and try to see the ball, and swing at good pitches, make good decisions, and yeah, that's all I got.
Xander, there's a lot of criticism, thrown your way just because of the statistics. Do you hear that, and what do you think of it?
Listen, man, just come in here, try to help the team. The more you can block out those noises, it's better for you. It definitely does you no good, so why pay much attention, We're playing really good as a team, and I always learn from a young age from my uncle. My uncle learned me and my brother to play, and he always said you can't keep a good man down for too long, so I always wore that in my heart, in my chest, and that's the way I approach the game of baseball.
Still early in the season, but how do you assess the start that you have had after almost a month?
This homer, it definitely helped. Helped us win a nice game. It felt good to be able to contribute. I didn't feel like many nights I've been able to contribute. So one like tonight, it can go a long way.
How much did that weigh on you? And especially when you had a bunch of guys down, you had some key guys down. How much did it bother you to not be able to step up in them? opportunities?
I mean, with me, it bothers me even if they're down or they're up. You know, I mean, not being able to play the way you want to. I know how much pride I take in myself. I know how much I expect of myself, and when you're not able to do that, it is extremely frustrating. You know, and as I say, I always held myself to high standards, and that's how it's always been.
Okay, so I want to point out that at no point did Xander Bogaerts mention that he's on pace for 40 doubles. So that's not something that's a goal of his. But he said, "Listen, I expect more from myself, and it's been weighing on him, and he's heard the criticism, you know, and he knows he's being honest. So it does weigh on him, and maybe that's not going to console any Padres fans, but he expected more of himself when he came to the Padres, and so far he hasn't delivered. He just hasn't." So
yeah, it'd be nice if they can get some of those runners in scoring position in when he's up on the plate.
Well,
like it's just like he's not even hitting doubles at opportune times, and then he gets stranded like half. I'm not trying to diminish. Like, fine, it's better that he's hitting doubles than nothing.
Yeah,
but like that can't be the stat, man. It's not a $200 million stat.
I know, but that's Mike Shildt, man. Ready to go with those stats when it's time to go ahead and defend his players. But again, good news for the Padres. It sounds like they could get Jackson Merrill back. Now, Mike mentioned that they were getting somebody possibly in Pittsburgh, and I think that would be maybe Jackson Merrill. Jake Cronenworth is not going to join them until likely in Colorado to end that road trip. And the reason why I'm not sure on Brendan Lockridge is because when he is available, I don't know that the Padres are going to keep him up here over an Oscar Gonzalez. I'm not sure about Tirso Ornelas, but I think the Padres are contemplating whether or not Lockridge is going to be that guy to platoon with Jason Hayward, or perhaps they want to see some more upside from Oscar Gonzalez, who's looked good in a very, very small sample size. So we shall see. J. Riff, what's going on? What's going on in your world? We want to get to the NBA shortly here. I'm curious to how much of our audience checks out on the NBA playoffs in Southern California when the Lakers are no longer in it.
Hold on. Our Clippers are playing in Game 6 tonight against the Nuggets, so there's still a reason to pay attention.
That's
our
true.
Clippers are led by the Alta Cockers, James Harden and Ivan Zubac are absolutely crushing it. Okay, what's going on in my world?
You mean San Diego's Clippers, who shouted out the Padres on opening day, like good luck this season?
By the way, Kawhi Leonard, who hasn't played in like 2 years, is having an incredible playoff. So San Diego's being well represented. What's going? So I'm calling professional soccer now, Ventura County FC. It's the LA Galaxy's MLS Next Pro affiliate. But they are doing their own thing, sort of, and they're really fun. You can hear me on KVTA, Marty's former home. 1590, but it's a sports station. It is no longer a news talk. We have moved. I drove all the way out to Ventura on Tuesday, Marty, in the middle of LA rush hour traffic to go to the launch party for Fox Sports 1590 KVTA.
Really?
And we are the professional sports team who's launched. So we are the Lakers, Rams, and Ventura County FC flagship station.
Wow, it's very Lakers.
That's
and Rams,
right.
Very exciting. Okay, but there's no baseball affiliate there, huh?
No baseball affiliate. Okay. I don't know if anybody's interested in listening to Angels baseball all the way out in Ventura County, but
man, well, Angels will be here. Right? I think.
Can I just say, like, I don't think that people truly grasp the irrelevance of the Angels until you live in Los Angeles.
Really?
Like not a single, I do enough work in Orange County that you get some Angel fans, but it is I have never been around a big market with a more irrelevant sports team in my life. Like there's not a single one out there that is more relevant than the Los Angeles Angels.
They've given them absolutely nothing to go ahead and cheer for since Shohei Ohtani was allowed to leave. They didn't even make him an offer.
Even when he was here, they were still.
I mean, no, that's not true. They weren't irrelevant. You would see Angels fans. You would see a ton of people coming from Japan just to go ahead and watch Ohtani.
You'd have Shohei Ohtani fans.
They were relevant then, but Mike Trout is just going to be injured his whole career. I think he was pulled yesterday for precautionary reasons. I mean, it's like here we go again. But yeah, I think the LA Times, they used to have a beat reporter for the Angels.
They don't even have one.
They don't have one anymore. I don't think they have any traveling media. And they also they're also responsible for their own relevance. And I don't believe their radio broadcasts. Do they have? I don't think they have. No, they don't have TV on the road. So
they don't have TV on the road. They do have radio. Wayne Rendazzo does the radio on the road.
They don't even staff all of their broadcasts. So you know what?
It's bad.
That's an Artie Moreno. Someone should solve. They should solve the team.
Yeah. So if you're a Padre fan and you feel bad, just know at least you're not the Angels.
Padres. I think the Padre fans feel pretty good right now.
Pretty good right now, yeah.
Yes. Before we wrap up this entire show for today, and thanks for joining me, Jonathan Rifkin.
Of course.
We're going to hear from Manny Machado talking about, hey man, we got our team back and we're no longer lonely. So that was a really good clip. Plus, he made 2 sensational plays yesterday because he wanted to get those 2 stars and be on ESPN. All right, the floor is yours. What happened with the Lakers this year? What's the future for LeBron? And how much blame is out of shape Luka going to go ahead and take for all of this?
I mean, Luka takes a lot of blame because he can't play defense. Like that, Rudy Gobert had 23 rebounds last night, and 16 of them were because Luka was just standing there, and this guy went around him and got an offensive rebound. Like the problem with the trade the Lakers made is that you traded your one insurance policy on the board. It's like Anthony Davis. Like as long as he's healthy, he can body up Rudy Gobert or anybody else in the NBA when it comes to getting rebounds. You traded that for a guy who gives up 35 points a game and will maybe get you 30 points. So Luka can do great stuff and in timely manner, but he gives up so much. It's the Russell Westbrook complex. And even Westbrook played some defense back in the day, but the guy was getting triple doubles and he was a minus player. Luka is not a minus player, but he's been playing a little sick this playoffs, and he doesn't play defense. He's not in shape at the end of these series. And if you couple that with the fact that they don't have anybody to rebound, and their bench is god-awful. JJ Redick played a guy, Maxi Kleber last night, Marty, who was out since January. Hadn't practiced, hadn't played. He played him in crunch time in a one-possession basketball game, in an elimination game, over guys on the bench who have been playing this entire time because he didn't trust a single guy. He looked down the bench and he said, Jackson Dart, who's our backup center, I don't trust you. I'm going to play a guy who is not a center and who hasn't played in 4 months to come in here and try to do something. And he got 1 rebound and airball to 3. It is a disaster. JJ Redick is very abrasive with the media. He needs to take a page out of Mike Shilt's book and be a little bit more positive about his players. And honestly, like Luka, all he does is complain. All he does is freaking complain, man. It is such a bad example of what stardom should be in this league. I think LeBron hates playing with him right now, even though he's the one who, go watch this games. LeBron has had, in the last 2 fourth quarters, LeBron has combined for 9 points. He's been completely irrelevant in fourth quarters. He's deferring. He is not getting, and then when he is getting the ball, nobody's moving around him. This guy's 40 years old. He's still one of the best players in the league, but he needs help. And Luka is not in shape to help him offensively and especially defensively. And he has a bunch of scrub guys around him. No, Austin Reeves is very good, but Rui Hachimura is not very good in situations that are important. And what Gabe Vincent isn't very good. And Michael Finney Smith had a horrible night last night, 9.6 fouls. So in conclusion, the Lakers, they are going to need some big pieces, literally physical pieces down low if they want to have a chance to compete with this team. Trading Anthony Davis in hindsight, right now it's not panning out. We'll see what it looks like in the future. Nobody's beating the Celtics. This might as well just call this playoff series.
Okay, but just real quick on the criticism that you're
sure.
Outlining on Luka, wasn't that the criticism that the Mavs had for him in the first place, which is why they traded him?
There's 2 things.
Aren't there front office guys like, yep, sit.
There's 2 things. There's 2 things. Yeah, there's 2 things. Number one, Luka's shows a pattern of disrespect. The whole reason that Mike Malone and the GM of the Nuggets got fired, even though they were in the playoffs 5 games before the playoffs, was because they both were so at each other's throats and there was a lack of disrespect in the front office. And they're like, well, we got to cut off both of these heads because if there's this matriculation factor that if there's disrespect here, it goes around the organization. So they had the fight. So Luka showed patterns of disrespect against management and refused to get in shape and didn't take accountability for the lack of defense. So they're like, all right, F this. We can prepare for the future and get Anthony Davis. He's not worth the headache. And and all of those problems, I don't know if he's being as disrespectful to the front office of the Lakers, but he is being just as out of shape and lazy. By the way, I have some inside information on Shadeur Sanders, and maybe we save that for another time.
No, just give me a quick teaser because that is such a fascinating story that I actually can't wait to dive into. Might do it next week when the Padres on the road. But man, that to me, that's a shocking story. Just give me 30 seconds on Shadeur Sanders.
Okay, I have very legitimate sources. I'm not going to share who, obviously, but
of course not.
Shadeur Sanders was never the whole number 2 on the charts. He was only number 2 on the Jaguars chart. They knew that they weren't going to get him. Or they knew that Jackson Dart was ahead of him on their chart. So the idea of Shadeur Sanders was number 2. He was only number 2 because they knew that they weren't going to take him. They knew they were going to get Jackson Dart. They traded up, they got Jackson Dart. And then what ended up happening was Roger Goodell got really pissed off, and the NFL got really pissed off because Shadeur became the story. Not getting there are all these amazing draft picks, all these great choices, and nobody was paying attention to anything but Shadeur Sanders. Right. And by day 3, Roger Goodell was like, "This is bad," and something happened that I'll leave out for a different conversation. That something happened between the Browns and Roger Goodell that enacted them drafting Shadeur Sanders in the 5th round.
Andrew Barry didn't look very, very happy when they select. Usually, there's a smile on the face of the GM and the draft board. All the guys and all the scouts are clapping. They look miserable. Like, what are we doing? Like, we have quarterbacks. We have Joe Flacco. We have a room.
Dylan Brooks. They drafted my guy. I'm like, thank God I can root for this team. My Oregon guy, and then they freaking go into anyways, it's a story for another time, but it's juicy, and I'm happy to get in on it with you.
Okay, let's do it. We may have to do this again next week. Anything else you want to go ahead and get off your chest, man, before we wrap this thing up and say goodbye? There's
all sorts of things, but it's a long road ahead, Marty. I don't want to divulge too much now. But I appreciate you having me on.
No, I am so happy. I am so happy to see you. Keep hydrating, drinking that water. By the way, congratulations on everything that you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
In your broadcasting career. I know you're working so hard to go ahead and do it, and it's going to happen for you, man. So just keep on grinding. Keep on grinding. You
can I just say that
on Twitter at Jonathan Rifkin, right?
Yes, and Instagram. I'm on Threads at Jonathan Rifkin. I use Threads. Not Blue Sky yet. I'm trying to limit my social media. I know now everybody. I use Instagram more than anything at this point. Like X, I use X to follow you and some other people. But other than that,
Twitter is kind of a mess. I'm getting suggestions of people that I don't want to follow. I can't block the ads. I can't block these ads fast enough.
Can't block ads, and every other tweet is from Elon Musk, and I don't even follow the guy. So
I know. Well, good luck. That's why I'm saying Blue Sky. So, all right, good deal. Okay. Well, J Riff, it's good to go ahead and see you. As we wrap this thing up, you guys, you're going to see just a quick portion from Manny Machado talking about Luis Ariz back. So when these guys, by the way, just real quick, when these guys say, "No, we're good," it's not about one guy. It's about the guys in this clubhouse, guys stepping up. You're right and you're wrong. It's not about one guy. It's about two guys, because the Padres became a completely different team. The spark, once they had Luis Ariz and Jason Hayward back. Okay, they're in Pittsburgh tomorrow. We will have a show tomorrow. Look forward to talking to you guys all. Again, we're brought to you by the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. Tomorrow's show is going to be great. I can't wait to play with you guys the full interview with Michael King, talking about the Avengers, because that's why you come here. That's why you want me in the clubhouse, to break down Ant-Man and Iron Man and Thanos and Thor. But Dylan Cease talking about RuneScape, I have to research that. I have no idea what it is. But anyways, J Riff, thank you for your time today.
Marty, thank you for having me.
All right, guys. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Be well.